Now that you have all the supplies and people you need to get started, you are ready to learn to play Mahjong. I hope you are ready to have a lifetime of fun playing the game. But you may feel a little overwhelmed at the start. Bear with us. Take the time to study your card and the handouts you have and practice the game. Now, let's get started. The objective of Mahjong is to collect and organize a set of 14 tiles to make a hand. To win, of course, you must complete your hand before someone else completes theirs. If you have ever played gin rummy, the concept of Mahjong should be familiar to you. It just uses tiles instead of cards. They have very different looking markings than a regular deck of cards, and only specific sets can be used to make a complete hand. You must have an official Mahjong League card before you can play the game. The card shows all the hands which can make a complete, valid hand or Mahjong. Only the sets of tiles as shown and described on the card make a Mahjong. In recent years, we have had between 51 and 53 possible hands or lines on the card. This slideshow assumes you have the current card in front of you when you are watching it. The official card for each year becomes effective on April 1st, so you will need to buy a new card every year to continue playing. When you first look at a set of tiles, they may seem very confusing. After you play for a while, you will become familiar with them and they will be no more confusing than the suits in a deck of cards. But you need to start somewhere to gain this understanding. There are 3 suits in our tile set. One of these is cracks. They always have a Chinese character on them. Another suit is dots, which have dots or wheels on them. The third is bams. They have what looks like little sticks of bamboo on them, except for the one bam, which has a bird on it. The bird will not always look the same in every set, but it will always be a bird. Each suit has tiles numbered 1 through 9, and there are 4 of each number. As it says on the slide, there are, for example, 4 2 cracks and 4 3 dots. In addition to the tiles that are in suits, there are other tiles in the set. The first one we will talk about are the dragon tiles. These come in 3 colors: green, red, and white. White dragons may also be called soap. There are 4 of each dragon tile. To make it a little more challenging, each dragon is paired or matched with one of the suits. Green dragons, pretty logically, are matched with the bams. Both have a lot of green on them. Red dragons are matched with cracks. This again makes sense since they both have a lot of red color. The soaps are then matched with dots. Just think of soap bubbles and the dots they make when they land on something. Well, that's not quite all for the soap. It is a white dragon, but it also serves as the only 0 in the set of tiles. Remember, tiles are numbered 1 through 9, so when you need a 0, you must use a soap. When you do use it as a 0, it is considered neutral and is not part of any suit. Done yet? No. In addition to the cracks, dots, and bams, and the dragons, there are tiles for winds. The set contains 4 each of the north, south, east, and west wind tiles. There are 4 of each wind tile. On the cards they are designated as N, S, E, and W. The wind tiles do not match with suits. And there's more. Just as a bouquet for you, they threw in some flower tiles too. There are a total of 8 flower tiles in the set. When you are looking at your card, you will see hands which have F's in them. That means you must use one of the flower tiles. These tiles will look different from set to set, and will often not look like a flower at all. They also may have numbers or words on them. You should just ignore the numbers and words. In Chinese Mahjong, the numbers and letters are used, but not in our American version. As with winds, The flower tiles do not match a suit. At last, we reach the end of our briefing on the tiles. This is probably the most exciting tile to get, the Joker. There are 8 Joker tiles in our set. It is wild. There is no hand which says Joker, but there are some hands which cannot be made if you do not have at least one Joker. Jokers can be used in place of other tiles in 3, 4, or 5 of a kind: pungs, kongs, and quints. You rarely hear anyone say pung or kong, but they show up on the card in the descriptions from time to time. Most important, a joker can never be used as a single or in a pair. As it says in this graphic, you can use a joker in 3, 4, or 5 of a kind, and you can use a joker for any or all of the tiles you need in that set. In this set of 3 5-bams, 1, 2, or all 3 tiles can be jokers. The example in the last slide was for 3 of a kind. The same thing is true for 4 of a kind. You can use the joker for from 1 to 4 of the tiles you need in the set. Most important to remember, once again, jokers can never be used for a single or in a pair. It cannot ever be used as either tile in a pair. Sometimes you may look at a hand on the card and see a grouping of 4 or more tiles that are not all the same, such as the groupings that were used in 2014 or 2016 to represent that year. These groups still represent 4 singles, not a set of the same tile. You can never use a joker in that set. Future year hands will likely have similar groupings made up of singles. Likewise, in the singles and pairs section of the card, they may group tiles like 3, 3, 6, 6, 9. They are still 2 pairs in a single, and you cannot use a joker. This is the end of part 1 of our lesson. Take this opportunity to look at and read Handout 1. If you are at a table with tiles in front of you, turn them face up and see if you can find some tiles from each suit, the matching dragons, and the various winds and flowers. They may look somewhat different in the set you see than in our examples. Find a joker. You will definitely want to see them when you play. When you have looked at the tiles enough that you feel familiar with them, play part 2 of our tutorial.